we got to get into this now while I'm thinking about it. See, me and my son were sitting here talking about the fact that I go into places and I order stuff from the company that I work with, Bimbo Bakeries, okay? And nothing against them, they're people working too. And I'm not going to get too far into that because they don't work along with this too well, so I'm not all that happy with the company that I represent, work for, work with, work alongside of, whatever. But I go into places like this Giant Eagle I go into, and they get mad at me because they ran out of stuff over the weekend. But they don't know and they don't listen long enough to understand that the stuff that didn't come was stuff that I was cut, that I couldn't bring, okay? So when she calls me on the phone, initially she starts off with, I just want to let you know that you were out of stuff out of 30 items. And I'm like, and just so to make clear, the 30 items that she said were actually 13, and I recorded it to show if I need to, but the rest of it was all this place called Pepperidge Farm. And if she says that they were mine or not, a lot of those are the same ticket, which had one of the kind, but it's like 5 rows of the same thing with 2 or 3 of the same kind of tag, and it did have some of them, just not all of it, because they had a sale, and it sells out over the weekend. What do you expect? So, and along with that, this is another thing. Our orders come 4 days ahead of time, so I have to order 4 days ahead of time. So if they sell out of something, I can't just pop up with some. It's not the way it works, and there's many weeks that I take tons of returns back. So one week it's give and take. I take a whole bunch back. The next week they sell out, and it doesn't happen very often. Within a 5-year period, it's happened maybe 3 or 4 times, and it's been since we changed over from including all these snacks and different stuff. I'm getting used to it. Like, they don't think that it takes time to get used to things, and even though I'm trying to get used to it during the pandemic thing, all that bull crap, and then with the fact that they cut half the stuff half the time, it doesn't come when we do order it. And if anybody that worked for the company could vouch for it, I don't need proof. I'm just being honest. So there's this lady, Sue from the Walmart, and Laura from the Giant Eagle. And initially, as soon as they call you, they talk down to you like, you need to do better, and you need to change your schedule around so you can do it. And they don't understand that I go in at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning until like 6, 7 at night. And they don't care for me to say that because they work less than I do, and I know they do. And I don't, who cares? I'm no better than anybody just because I work. I have to do what I have to do at this point, I guess. So, and it's one of these things where they belittle you and talk down to you like, I do order, I place my orders and they don't come, so I can't change that. If I tell them, and I'll start on the phone like, well, I did order the stuff, it just didn't come, and she's like, well, you're just, all I hear is excuses. And when she starts doing that, it's implying that I'm not being honest. And when somebody does that, they're talking down to you, they're not letting you get your point in. They're not even listening to you. I'm like, listen, I'm telling you right now that the company didn't send it, I can't do anything about it. Second of all, like, you can't call somebody and be like, yeah, you need to do this, and I'm like, well, you're not the only store that does that. You guys don't receive afternoon, and neither does another store that's on the opposite end of the county. One's Edinburgh, one's Union City. It's like they're on the opposite end, so I do one every other day and then one every other day for the big orders. It's just the way it can work out with the way the company sends stuff, and I order 4 days ahead of time. That's the way it really works. So when they tell me that I need to try harder, I need to do something better or whatever, I need the place that I order from to work with me. So I tell them, please complain to them. But the point that I'm trying to make is, she got mad at me because I said, I don't fucking care on the phone, because I was just like, listen, she talked down to me for so long and wouldn't let me say anything. I bursted in and I was like, listen, I fucking, and she's like, you ran it like a maniac on the phone. And I was like, because you were talking to me like I was nobody. I don't care if you didn't swear. People act like if you say shit, damn, fuck, or hell, or cock, or piss, or whatever the hell, like that's a big deal. It doesn't matter. Like, I care about the people. Like, the girl that I'm talking about, Laura specifically, I care about her as an individual. I'm here to help her figure herself out because she has such a problem. She's worried about representing a market. Make some money for these people so we can sell all this food that people overeat, and we all know we eat way too much, and we don't need to keep going to the store. We don't need all our conveniences met all the time. If you don't get what you wanted, whoopee ding dong, you need to grow up and get over it. I never get what I want. Personally, I don't even care. The point is, I never get what I want. I never do anything for myself. My life is now dedicated in helping the world become better. And as cheesy as that sounds to people, that's really me. So when I talk to somebody and I try to be kind and they look at me and talk down to me, I have no choice but to be like, listen, I don't fucking care what you're saying because you're ignorant and you have no idea who you're talking to, and the reason you're talking to me this way is fucking stupid. About some buns or hot dogs or the hamburger buns, hot dog buns, and bagels that sold out. I'm a human being. You don't talk down to people like that, and I don't care. And this guy tries to interrupt me, or not interrupt me, but he's like, she wouldn't listen to me talk, and he's like, dude, just give it up, just let it go. We're the customer. I'm like, you're the customer? This dude doesn't even know what's going on. He sort of came at the end of, he wasn't during the phone call, all this kind of stuff, where she talks down to you, and all I did is said fucking once. I was like, I don't fucking care. You know, and because I swore at her, she made this big deal. When you may not swear at me, but you talk down to me like I'm nothing, and say that I'm not doing a good job, and I need to try harder, and I need to tell them to change their schedule, and I need to change my schedule when I work more than 15 hours most days of the week. So I can't change my schedule. She needs to understand that things happen, and you need to be, she told me I wasn't being professional. It's not professional if you don't listen to somebody talk. And I told you the reasons, and then you blatantly told me they were excuses. I'm trying to tell you, I have nothing against you. I just want you to understand how ignorant you were being. And I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And I was doing the best I can at my job. And I'll do better now if I can, if the company I represent or work with helps. That's the point. So I'm just sick of people making a big deal out of things that don't really matter. Start worrying about things that matter. That's all I got to say.